Rand, I need another episode of Fully Cinematic.
Clearly, DC Films is completely falling apart in front of our eyes. What with popular stars who may or may not return to the DCEU, several canceled movies in recent years, including a $90 million feature that was near completion, a woefully misguided sequel to a $1 billion film in the pipe, and two tentpoles featuring problematic and possibly criminal actors, which may very well crash and burn in theaters next year. But amidst all of the seemingly drunken decision making and cinematic trash, the once vaunted studio has managed to sneak out a damn good animated movie. Nah, not that one. What are you, high? Warner Brothers may have denied Green Lantern John Stewart his rightful place in 2021's long awaited Snyder Cut, but as a consolation prize, he's been given his own animated movie. So pour yourself some green tea and roll up some and listen while I dive into Beware My Power. And oh, yeah, there will be spoilers. We start off on the battlefield in Afghanistan, and when young Marine sniper John Stewart's unit is pinned down, he picks enemy combatants off from a rooftop. Eventually, he's located and jumped from behind. During the struggle, John's stabbed in the hand. Following his honorable discharge, Stewart falls into depression and alcoholism to treat his PTSD. After leaving a bar one night, he displays his heroism again when he saves a homeless guy from being set on fire by a couple of dickheads up to no good. After beating out of the miscreants, Stewart's arrested, but the cops let him go upon realizing that he's a Medal of Honor winner. After walking home, John witnesses an aircraft streaking across the sky into a crash landing some distance away. Compelled to help, Stewart rushes over and discovers that the craft is actually an alien ship. The dying pilot is extraterrestrial, and he bequeaths a ring of power to the disillusioned jarhead before kicking the bucket and disintegrating. Subsequently, Stewart discovers that the ring is equipped with an advanced AI that knows his identity and declares that he's being recruited to the Green Lantern Corps due to his possession of quote-unquote singular will. But not knowing what to do with his newly acquired bling, John tells it to show him who can fill him in, and it flies its new owner to the Justice League's orbital platform, the Watchtower. Assuming that his intentions are hostile, the Martian Manhunter, Vixen, and Green Arrow, who are apparently the only League members authorized to appear in this movie, go on the attack. But fortunately, the ring puts up a formidable defense on John's behalf. After the ring informs the trio that its previous owner is Hal Jordan, Arrow agrees to accompany Stewart to a distant planet in the alien starship to get to the bottom of this ring business. Incidentally, the wrecked ship has completely repaired itself by the time that they return to the crash site. En route to Oa, the ring provides a history lesson of the Corps and the Guardians. Upon arrival, Green and Green discover that the Corps HQ has been destroyed and all of the lanterns are no more than corpses. Robin Hood then brings Stewart up to speed on both Hal Jordan and his former mentor, Sinestro, who since turned to the dark side. As soon as Legolas wanders off, Shahira Hall, aka Hawk Girl, jumps John from behind, but he quickly turns the tables and nearly kills her with a light construct resembling a Humvee, until the ring announces that it's not authorized to use lethal force. Stewart lets her live, and the ungrateful maniac questions why he did so. Big Bird subsequently explains that she was shot down en route to secure aid against an alien race known as Ronians, which was at war with her homeworld, Thanagar. Though peace talks had commenced following years of conflict, the test of a joint project between the two cultures went awry, resulting in Thanagar being transported to Ronian space by way of a Zeta beam, which disrupted both planets' ecosystems as well as claiming the lives of countless people, including Jordan. Gangrene agrees to let Black Swan accompany them to Thanagar in order to investigate and discover several dead Thanagarians and a very much alive spacefarer, Adam Strange, upon arrival. In the interest of consistency, Shahira immediately attacks him until she's stopped by the Green Team. Strange turns out to be Iranian himself and leads the others to his people's house, but not before they arrive in the midst of a raging battle in orbit. Strange and White Canary deduced that the war was engineered by someone framing each race for attacking the other. After being attacked, the group lands on an asteroid equipped with a breathable atmosphere, where they're attacked again, on foot this time, by various aliens of disparate races. During the melee, Stewart ignores Mother Goose's prompts for him to kill his opponent. The foursome is soon captured by Sinestro, and their fellow prisoner turns out to be none other than Green Lantern legend Hal Jordan. He explains that he discovered that Sinestro was a saboteur who set the Thanagarians and Ronians against each other before being captured and jettisoning his ring. The inmates escape with the help of Lady Hawkeye's concealed nth metal knife, the hardest substance in the universe, which also constitutes her mace. Hal surprises the others when he uses the ladder to murder one of Sinestro's henchmen, but they let it slide when he teaches John how to summon the ring, along with the rest of their weapons. They steal the Guardian's ship back and return to Rand, where strangest connections gain them entry through the planetary shield. He reveals Sinestro's plot to Rand's leader, Sardath, who also happens to be his dead wife's father. The man in question subsequently attacks with his goons, and Jordan kills yet another conspirator. For his part, Stewart kills Sinestro, but he does feel bad about it, which is more than can be said for Hal, who John realizes has shot a bunch of people from behind and left dead in the hallway. After Sardath is dumb enough to provide Jordan with the Zeta Beam code, former Lantern murks him where he stands. And when John exposes him as the true mastermind behind the genocide, he reveals that he now possesses multiple rings, Mandarin style, and confesses that he defected to Sinestro's side after the latter infected him with an alien parasite known as the Parallax Entity, which quote-unquote opened his eyes. He also confesses his plan to wipe the universe clean so as to create a new, better one, Thanos style. But despite all of his newly acquired powers, Stewart takes his rings and beats his ass. However, when he stops short of killing him, Jordan jumps him, stabbing him in his bad hand. Unfortunately for Hal, he didn't keep track of who was in the vicinity and paid for that oversight by catching an arrow in the back from robbing him. Meanwhile, Adam Strange redirects the Zeta Beam, preventing it from destroying both Thanagar and Rand. With the day saved, Birdbrain flies Gangrene back to Earth before bidding John adieu and hauling ass back to space. 2011's Green Lantern is a dumpster fire to introduce Silver Age Comics hero Hal Jordan in the title role and infamously lost the studio $75 million. Subsequently, the very idea of a Green Lantern movie justifiably causes millions of eyes to roll, but director Jeff Wamister and writers Ernie Outbacker and John Semper have actually managed to craft one of the best animated comics features yet, as well as one of DC's best films, animated or otherwise. DC's been promising a live-action Green Lantern movie and/or streaming series for years now, but the way things have been going over there, we may never get one. If we do, great. In the meantime, at least we've got this dopeness to tide us over until it happens. In other news, it's time to highlight a few comments the viewers left on previous shows, and what could be more appropriate than past episodes about comic book movies. Commenting on my Thor: The Dark World review, Danielle M. said, "Rand, your commentary made me laugh." I'm glad somebody got to laugh, Danielle, because that movie didn't even get a chuckle out of me. Fresh Out the Shower's response to the same review was, "I'm not sure if it was because I watched this one and the first one pretty close together or not, but I like this one better than the first. I was just glad he wasn't powerless like most of the first movie. I wasn't a huge Thor fan growing up, so I went into both movies with low expectations. Add the disappointment of Iron Man 3 and more action than the first movie, it was good enough for me. LOL. Fresh, it's not as bad as Love and Thunder, but it's still trash." After watching the Spider-Man No Way Home review, Phase 4 Fit Life asked John, "How can you judge a movie without knowing the arts?" Shout out to Phase 4 Fit Life, Fresh Out the Shower, and Danielle M. for dropping comments and questions. And shout out to everybody who hit the like button and subscribe to the channel. But I've had enough of this conversation, so I'm logging off.
Fully cinematic.